here at Deeper Healing, and my story is I first got sick in February, March earlier this year. Had no idea what it was. It was mostly like flu-like symptoms that started. I went to my local doctor here in town, and he told me he thought that it was some kind of viral infection and that I just needed to go home and rest. And so that's what I did because there was nothing he could do. So I went home and rested. Did it, just didn't work. And then, went into a month of having this, and I rest and your body will get over it. So 2 months went into 3 months, 3 months went into 4, 5, 6, and I went multiple trips to the ER, lots of different doctors' opinions to get their thoughts on it, just looking for help and guidance. And everybody said the same thing. They just had, didn't know what it was, couldn't treat me even if they did know what it was. I asked for testing, they wouldn't do it. And then I finally met with a holistic type doctor, which finally gave me a little bit of hope. And she did the proper testing, and it turns out it was something called Epstein-Barr virus, which I've never had before in my life. And so that's now what it was. Before it was chasing something that had no clue, and then finally we put a name to it. So she put me on a protocol because she convinced me that she could treat it, and she was the first person that said they could. And I was taking like 20 or 30 pills a day. I was very sick and very toxic just from all the pills and supplements every single day. Aside from that, I tried every pill and potion that people say that can treat it. Nothing was working. I was getting progressively worse, and every month there was more and more symptoms just kept adding on to it, where I was in a really, really dire straits. I was severely ill. Symptoms were, it was so many of them. It was, I dropped 40 pounds, did not want to eat, dizzy, extreme exhaustion, chills and hot flashes, temperature changes, night sweats, nausea, vertigo, brain and head inflammation, body aches. Just the list goes on and on. And every month it just kept adding and adding. The numbness, I was having circulation issues. So I was getting tingling and numbness in my feet and hands, which I had no idea why that was happening. And it just kept escalating. And every month that went by, I was getting worse and worse. Bad, so I couldn't even work. My daily life and functions just kept decreasing and going down over time. A lot of times it was very difficult to go upstairs and even go take a shower or anything like that, even go and cook for myself. I was in really dire straits. So I was lucky enough, fortunate enough to find this wellness center. And I'll never forget, I went in for my consultation with Dr. B, and I had written down all my symptoms so I wouldn't forget. He looks at the symptoms and says, I know exactly what this is. Not only do I know exactly what's going on and what I think this is, but everything is reversible, it's treatable, and we have everything in here in-house to treat your illness. So that was a huge relief. And I was very skeptical, I'll be honest with you. I never heard of this company. I never heard of their treatment plans and what they were offering. I've never seen any of the machinery in doctors' offices. So it was very foreign, and I was very skeptical about trying it. But I was so desperate, to be honest with you. I didn't have any other options. There was nothing else was working. No one else was offering any help. So from what my understanding is, and I've learned a great deal by being here, is that how I contracted this in the first place is because I had mold. I had no idea there was mold in my house, and it was suppressing my immune system. That's why this virus became chronic, and my body could not get rid of it on its own. Of all places, it was in my bedroom, And as I got sicker and sicker every month, I would spend even more time in my bedroom. So I'm breathing this in, and it's really, suppressing my immune system. One thing I was so impressed with is how deep of an understanding that they have with chronic illnesses and underlying issues and all these other things that I would have never gotten diagnosed properly going to a doctor's office. They don't typically even ask or look for mold or, every week I continued to come back. I saw improvements. My symptoms started diminishing. My symptoms started going away. Everything just started reversing, and every week I saw improvement and started just to get my life back. Finally, it started to feel like myself after almost a year with no answers. I'm here at Deeper Healing, and I'm just finishing up my treatments, and I feel amazing. I feel really, really good. I'm working again. I'm driving again. I drove here, which I wasn't able to drive or work for almost a year. So I'm really getting my life back. I just can't say enough good things about the staff and the treatments here and what they've done for me. They really have saved my life. And I would tell anyone with a chronic condition they need to do whatever it is to get here and get the help they need.